Hello, I'm Penny. I'm going to carry on cooking again, and now we're going to make the coleslaw to go with your pizza for lunch. So I think I mentioned to you earlier that all your vegetables and fruit etc. needs to be washed. So just going to cut that through. You will have a piece of cabbage which is already cut, so you have a large white cabbage like this. In your bags you'll have a quarter or a half of cabbage because the cabbages that I bought were very large. So I'm going to cut that in half on a board, big knife. Let a parent or grandparent or a guardian do this for you. Just pop that back on there. I'm going to cut that in half again. Pop this one on there. I'm going to wash this. Now, so white cabbage. This is quite a green one. It's a really fresh green cabbage. So I'm going to cut it very carefully with a flat bottom, and I'm going to cut it down the middle like that. You can do this on a food processor or a grater, but we're just going to do it like this. You can use that grater. You can see it's a slicer, and gently, but I have to say that although it slices quite finely, as you can see, you also get a lot of cabbage over everything and more inside the grater than in the bowl where you want it. So I'm going to very gently, very slowly cut down the cabbage as fine as I can. You can see I'm moving my hands back as I go. I just want to show you, although I'm using a very large knife, you can do it with a small knife. So a little bit slower to do it, like that. Make sure you go slowly with this. Like that. So you can make it fairly chunky. If you happen to have a food processor or similar to that, then you can whack it through the food processor. But not everybody's got one of those. So as you can see, you can do it with a small sharp knife. You can probably even do it with a small kitchen knife, but it's going to be an ordinary breakfast knife type thing, dining knife. Not as easy. I'm going to pop that in there like that. I'll have another go with this. Yes, you can do it quite easily. These have got a serration on them, which makes it easier. Works, it's absolutely fine. I personally prefer to use the big knife, and also I'm quite experienced at chopping, and as you can see I'm doing it quite quickly, but I want you to do it quite slowly. I don't want any fingers chopped off or any blood. Remember, the NHS doesn't need our accidents at the moment. So there's our chopped cabbage, and that's just going to go into the bowl like that. And then we've got some carrots here. These are really nice, fresh, new seasoned carrots. So I'm going to take 2 carrots. I think the recipe says 3. Yeah, the recipe says 2 carrots. So I'm going to peel them. It's a nice potato peeler, and just, these are almost fresh enough that you don't need to peel them, but I think they look nicer if you peel them. So literally just peeling that down, doesn't need a lot of peeling, very, very quick. Like that. Then we're going to move them. Remember, I always say move your mess out of the way. Take the top off and the bottom off, like that. I'm going to wash them. going to get rid of that rubbish. That's my sink. I haven't got a rubbish bag. And now we're going to grate. So I'm going to use the coarse grater for this. Again, mind your fingers. A couple of carrots you can do quite easily, up and down, up and down. Just be careful with little fingers though. It's pretty quick, isn't it? Now, you can't really get to much more than that, and that's the reward. You can eat that. So I just want to show you how much that one carrot has done. Be careful when you're just taking that off. Might be better to do it with a spatula, save the fingers, or a wooden spoon or something. So there's quite a lot that went inside the so that's just the carrot from one carrot, the grated carrot from one carrot. So in you go, in we go there. I won't do the other one now, but I will eat the carrot. But very, very healthy. Now, everybody's got one apple. If you've got one of these, it's called a corer. You can see it's got a hole in the middle there, and you literally would put your apple into the corer like that and push down. But most people probably haven't got one of those. So take your little knife, wash it first. Take the little knife, go down the middle, like that. Flat surface onto the chopping board, down again. Flat surface onto the chopping board, cut down. Then very carefully, if you can, cut away, but if you can't, don't worry. Take the core out, like that. Just get rid of the core, because we don't want any of that. Throw that into my sink. And back to cutting. So I quite like the carrot and the coleslaw to be a bit chunky. So I'm just cutting it down, cut each one into 3 like that, and then down again. Try the kitchen knife, like that. You can cut it how you like, really, it doesn't really matter. You can cut it that way, thin strips, whatever you want to do. You see it cuts up quite nicely. So we're nearly there with this coleslaw. So actually, while your pizza is rising and cooking, you've got time to make your coleslaw. So into the bowl goes the chopped apple, like that. Oh, yum! Carrot's delicious. You've got some packets of raisins in your bag. Open them up and pop them in there. A little bit of salt, a couple of grinds maybe. You've pepper in if you like. You've got a jar of mayonnaise. If the mayonnaise is too thick, then you might need to thin it down a bit. I've got the mayonnaise. So, I've said 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. You can put as much or as little as you want. And if you've still got a few of the mixed herbs left and you like it, you can add that to this as well. So, Mayonnaise. If the mayonnaise feels a bit thick and you want to thin it down, you could add a little bit of extra milk or some hot water or some vinegar, a bit of lemon juice, anything like that. This is looking, I personally don't like it too mayonnaisey. If you don't like mayonnaise at all, or you're vegan, you could make an oil and vinegar mixture. So you could take 2 or 3 tablespoons of oil. It could be olive oil or sunflower oil or whatever you've got, not car oil, and a tablespoon of vinegar. That could be apple cider vinegar or malt vinegar or white vinegar or balsamic. There's lots of different vinegars and oils on the market. Some salt and some pepper, some herb. Take a fresh lemon and squeeze that, or a lime, squeeze that in. Give it a good stir or fork with it, beat it up. If it's a bit sour, add a teaspoon or 2 of sugar or honey or maple syrup. And then you've got a really nice vinaigrette which could go on that as well. Or you could use that with a green salad or something. So let me just show you what this looks like. I think you'll agree that that's really tasty, and that's made a pretty big salad for everybody to eat for lunch with their pizza. You don't want too much anyway. Goes well, goes very nicely together, and I hope you enjoy that. I'm just going to put a little in a bowl, just to show you what it looks like in the bowl. Very chefy style like they do on the television programmes. So there we are. Make sure that the apple is all coated, because the apple's the thing that might turn brown. But I think that really is very, very nice. And that's a really good portion there. And there's still a huge amount in the bowl. So if you've got any left over, pop it in a smaller bowl or a plastic tub, put it in the fridge and have it the next day. You'll probably make even more than this because your cabbage will be bigger, but there you go. And just to say that didn't take as long as the pizza is cooking. So you can see that you've got plenty of time this morning to make your coleslaw and to do the pizza. And even if the children are starving, give them a carrot. Or a bit of the apple, because you don't have to put it all in. And if there's anything else you fancy putting in your coleslaw, you can do. So you could add, if you've got a bit of the sweet corn left over, if you've got some mushrooms left over, might go a bit mushy, or the pepper could go in. You can play around with ideas, but it's a very nice, easy salad, and it's a great one for the children to help with. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and see you later with the finished pizza.